Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Joan of Sashes&Scripts, and in this episode, we are going to be talking about the 14 Binibinis that we feel could be the next Binibining Pilipinas winners. So, we are going to be breaking down the conversation into several segments where we will be talking first about several ladies that we feel could be potential spoilers for the 14 in our list. Then we will be talking about each individual girls, and we will end up with our sort of like personal favorites for the titles. So you might be asking, why 14? Well, 14 is currently a lucky number for us. It also is, in numerology, a number that symbolizes growth and change. So this is something that we feel is very appropriate for us in this context. Since there are no confirmation on the third title, there's no confirmation if we're going to be having an additional crown and title for this year's edition. We are going to be sticking on the traditional franchises that Binibining Pilipinas currently have, which is the Miss Globe and the Miss International titles. Okay, so before we continue this conversation, let us first name maybe 3 girls who we feel could be potential spoilers among the list of ladies that we have in our list of 14. So first we have Rada Marie Cabuk, who is a strong communicator, has a very gorgeous face, who is also a aircraft maintenance student. So it's not kind of the same thing that you would think as a career path for a beauty queen. So ang kagandahan nito is that Rada, aside from being facially gorgeous, she is one of the ladies that we feel that kapag nagkaroon ng stronger na pasarela in the future, magkaroon siya ng stronger stage presence, she would be able to clinch a possible title at Binibining Pilipinas. But for now, she still is quite raw. But with time and with work, with proper training rather, I think meron siyang future in pageantry. Now, the next lady in our list is Alexandra Mata, who is a lady with a very commercial, pretty face. She is taking a pre-med course, taking up BS Medical Technology, or BS MedTech for most Filipinos. And we hope that in the future, kapag bumalik siya sa Binibining Pilipinas, she would have a stronger, pasarela, a stronger stage, choreography. Because I think that is one of the things na medyo kulang pa lang sa kanya sa ngayon. I feel though that if she is able to make it into the, list of semi-finalists in the finals in Coronation Night on June 15, I do hope that she continues working on her stage presence because yun yung kinakailangan pa ng additional polish. Now, another girl in our list is Dalia Verde Catab, who is an actress and a startup businesswoman. She is one of those ladies na ang ganda ng rehistro parati sa camera, maganda parati yung maganda parati yung facial features niya in any angle, and I do hope that mas magkaroon siya ng stronger na pasarela if she manages to make it into the list of semi-finalists come finals night. Kasi I think there needs still a little bit of polish in the way that she walks, the way that she transitions her poses. I think yun yung kinakailangan na trabahuin niya in the next few days if in case that she is able to make it into the first cup. Now, we are now going to be talking about 14 ladies who we think could comprise yung semi-finalists natin. We are not yet sure. Di pa kami sigurado kung ang listahan ng top ng semi-finalist natin is top 15, top 18, or whatnot. Or it might even be a top 12. Medyo masikip talaga ang Binibining Pilipinas semi-final spots. So I really think na lahat ng mga girls trabahuin ng maayos talaga yung bawat spot na available in order for them to be able to really be one of the ladies na potential winners later on. So the first in our list is one of the most gorgeous faces in the competition. Kathleen Espenido from Siargao. She is a model. She is a former PBB housemate, and she is a advocate for women empowerment. Now, this lady, aside from being one of the strong, facially, among the strongest facially in this batch, tingin ko kinakailangan niya pa ng additional na build up sa kanyang resume. For me, I think that if given the chance, she could be a potential Binibining Pilipinas International. However, as of this moment, I feel that she still has a little bit of work that needs to be done on her pageant resume. There is still a need for her as well to have a stronger communication skills and really be on the head when it comes to answering her questions, to communicating and engaging with her audiences. I just feel kasi that when it comes to her Binibining Pilipinas, interview video that was posted several weeks back, medyo nakukulangan pa ako ng energy, ng engagement with the camera, so that it feels more organic and more authentic. I feel though, however, that if matrain siya ng maayos na com skills na mentor, she will be able to really be a potential winner in the future. I also feel that perhaps at this point muna, maganda muna siguro mag-transition siya into a runner-up position in Binibining Pilipinas so that she knows how the organization works, and so that she'll be able to, to have enough time to beef up her resume and come back stronger in the future. Another lady in our list at number 2. Okay, these are ladies na we listed randomly, so we just numbered them randomly para hindi tayo magkaroon ng tawag, para magkaroon tayo ng flow doon sa usapan. Okay, so we have Beatriz Abelahon, or we might know her more popularly as Bea Mlan. So she represents a clan. At 22, Bea is a psychology student. She is also a hotelier and a media producer. Now, she has one of the strongest communication skills in this batch, so I will not be surprised if she makes it into the semifinalists. Currently, she is advocating for cervical cancer awareness, and that, I think, is one of the reasons why she resonates very well with us, because on a personal note, my mom passed away because of CA, and I think that having someone who is always be on the forefront on advocating for cancer awareness, it is a very, appropriate and a very timely thing to advocate for. Now, for Bea, she is one of the ladies that I feel have a strong stage presence, and ang worry ko is kapag pinahawak niya siya ng mic, for sure, bubula ang bibig niya. She will be able to answer any question, and if she manages to really hit, the Q&A, which is, the really strong na indicator of a potential win at Binibining Pilipinas, she might end up with one of the titles, or might even, at the very least, a runner-up position. However, I have a little bit of reservation when it comes to her, to her height. She is, I think, around 5'5", 5'6". Kapag na-sandwich in between two tall ladies in the semifinalists. I am hoping, though, that height will not be a strong indicator or a strong factor in that would indicate a potential win. I am hoping that all things being fairly judged, she'll be able to shine on the finals night. Now, number 3 on our list is the lady from Samar, who is an advocate for eco-friendly agricultural development, because she said in her profile interview with Binibini is that she is representing a province that farming and agriculture is, the main source of income for the entire province, and she is Farah Jane Redostilio. Now, she is a major standout during the Binibining Pilipinas press presentation in her evening gown, and of course, she also had a strong swimwear presentation. However, tumatak talaga siya sa amin with her gold evening gown that really channeled the Alfredo Baraza gown that Ariadna Gutierrez won in Miss Universe 2015. But aside from the physicality and aside from the strong stage presentation, Farah is one of those ladies who looks really good with straight hair, and she also communicates well. So I think that kapag nakapasok ito sa semi-finalist, potential na runner-up winner ang mangyari sa kanya if she delivers strongly in this coming finals. Now, at number 4 is another lady which captured, our attention for being very tall, and her name is Jimil Rusia Zosa, who represents, Mandaluyong City in this year's competition. Now, she is a student pilot who, in her Binibining Pilipinas profile video, mentioned that she went skydiving in order for her to conquer her fear of heights, which is very ironic considering that she is a student pilot. So, what I like about her is not only is she a woman who is bravely forging a career in a male-dominated field, but she also has a soft side to her, being a Binibini legacy. When you say Binibini legacy, it means that she has maybe a mom, an aunt, or a grandma that joined Binibini before. And with Jamil, she is a third-generation Binibining Pilipinas candidate because her grandma, Benigna Rusia, was a runner-up in Binibining Pilipinas on her year, and her mom was also a semi-finalist at Binibining Pilipinas. So she is kind of carrying on the tradition of the women in her family. So I do hope that she manages to snatch a spot at the semi-finalists this year, and from then on, it's going to be a tough battle for the potential top 4 or top 5 na placements later. Number 5 on our list, we have Jeremy Ivy Nuki from Caloocan City, who is a theater actor who had, I think, a diploma course at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, for acting. She is also a model and a host, and believes, according to her Binibining Pilipinas profile, she believes in the transformative power of the arts, and that is to educate, inspire, and ignite change. Now, she is a reigning Miss Caloocan 2025, and aside from that, she is one of those racially ambiguous faces in this year's batch. Yun naman ang nagustuhan ko sa kanya because with just a difference in the styling, she could look very Filipina, and she can look, very racially ambiguous dependent on how she is styled. Now, the first time that I met her, I think that was one of her best makeup, and that was during the final screening day of Binibining Pilipinas, and she was really just glowing there. I do feel that if she's able to bring a more softness into her overall styling come finals, I think she will do great at the Binibining Pilipinas competition. Now, there is another lady who is a pageant veteran of sorts. Her name is Jeanette Reyes, and she is from Batangas City. Now, she is a former Mutya ng Pilipinas Tourism International, I hope I'm right with that, and a lieutenant at the Philippine Coast Guard Auxiliary. So, from public service, to pageant, I think Jeanette is one of those ladies that has a very interesting, background to her. And according to her profile, she champions marine protection and sustainable ecotourism, and empowering youth in coastal communities to protect our seas. Now, when it comes to her performance at the Binibining Pilipinas press presentation, I feel that meron pang ibubuga itong si Jeanette. I think that with the proper stage presence, with a proper gown, with a proper styling, she could be able to replicate her Mutya ng Pilipinas win several years back in Binibining Pilipinas this year. However, I also feel that she really needs to bring on the heat since she's the first to come out in the competition. So kumbaga, there is, para sa akin kapag ikaw yung nauuna na tinawag sa isang competition, whether you're candidate number 1 or you're the first semi-finalist to do the Q&A, ang mga judges pwedeng ma-underscore ka with the way that you perform. So, I am hoping that she delivers really strongly because may tendency kasi ang mga judges that i-hold nila yung mga matataas nilang marks for the latter candidates because gusto nila makita muna yung ano yung level of competition. So I think that is something that she really needs to work on in terms of her overall packaging, that umpisa pa lang bumulaga na kaagad siya. Now, at number 7 in our list, we have Alisa Borina, who is representing Rizal, who is also the Binibining Rizal 2025, the reigning queen from Rizal. Now, she is a medical representative by day, but at night, she is a writer and a host. That is according again to her profile at the Binibining Pilipinas socials. Now, one thing that is interesting about her is that she has a communications degree, so it makes sense that she does write and host for a living. What I like about Alisa is that hindi siya yung very mestiza na beauty. She really represents the very Filipina beauty that is really very much underrepresented in pageants, especially at Miss International, who always prefer the mestizas. Now I understand that for commercial reasons, because ang sponsor kasi ng Miss International is Miss Paris, which is a beauty clinic. So, ang idea or ang ideal beauty nila is yung puti. However, I feel that may laban itong si Alisa with her really morena skin and her really sultry na vibes and aura. I think siya yung isa sa mga girls na oozing with sex appeal without really trying so much. And she also delivers well on stage. I do hope, however, that for the finals, she wears a gown that is much more fit or aligned with her skin tone, because I don't feel that the pink gown that she wore during the press presentation was the perfect shade for her. Maybe a warmer pink would have worked, because I think the pink that she wore at the evening gown segment nung press presentation, masyadong cool yung tone, yung may undertone na malamig. And I think Alisa looks better with warm undertone na mga colors. Now, let's also talk about one of the girls that grew on me as the competition progresses. Okay, her name is Blessy Villablanca, representing Antique, and she is a dentistry student and a child welfare advocate. She has a very strong stage presence, and she is giving me, that sultry Rachel Peters vibes na unconventionally pretty or unconventionally, beautiful, but represents someone who is very interesting na tignan or titigan. That is what I like about Plessy, is that habang tumatagal, the longer that you look at her, hindi ka mananawa sa beauty niya. And I think that is very important, especially for pageant girls na tao ito na nakababad sa stage ng matagal. And I think, one of the reasons why she really stood out for us was during the opening ng headshot exhibit nila sa Gateway 2. Napansin namin yung kanyang headshot, yung glam shot niya, na she really delivers when it comes to photos. And I think that she is one of those girls na very photogenic, yung potential Miss Photogenic winner sa Binibining Pilipinas this year, because she really has a very strong face. And she projects well on camera. Okay? So if she chooses again to wear another Leo Almodal gown for the finals, my God, I think sasabog yung competition, because I really felt that the gold gown that she wore, the Leo Almodal na gold gown that she wore at Binibining Pilipinas press presentation, was one of the best gowns during the press presentation. Okay? So, I would not be surprised kapag makapasok siya sa semifinals this year and might snag a potential top 5, top 4 placement. Okay, now, at number 9 is one of the taller girls in the competition. She stands 5'9". She represents Pampanga, which is a pageant superpower during the 90s. I remember na ang daming mga magagandang girls from Pampanga na nanalo as Binibining Pilipinas winners in the 1990s. And I think, Joan Thornley is one of those girls who will continue that legacy. So she is a professional model and advocate for children's welfare. One interesting thing about her is that she also did taekwondo for 10 years before joining pageants. And that is something that is really impressive because ang bilis niyang nag-shift from something that is very masculine in nature to a very feminine na industry. And what I like about her is that she really is very strong when it comes to her communication skills. She is one of those girls that I would say, kung may listahan tayo ng 7 or 8 na strong communicators na mga girls, she is one of those girls. Papasok siya doon sa listahan siguro ng top 5 na strong when it comes to her comm skills. Now, she does need a little bit more improvement when it comes to her styling choices. I felt that with Joan, mas babagay sa kanya yung mga warmer na mga tones ng silver, because the silver gown that she wore during the press presentation wasn't really giving her the best glow during that evening. I think she would look better in colors, in jewel tones that is more on the warmer side, because it would help soften her features a little bit more. I do agree that when it comes to her styling, mas bagay sa kanya yung kulot, although I would like for her to experiment a little bit more when it comes to her overall styling and packaging. I will not be surprised if she manages to snag a title this year, simply because when it comes to communication skills, iba talaga kapag marunong kang magsalita, marunong kang engage when you talk. And I think she's one of those ladies na kapag binigyan mo ng mic, game over na para sa iba. Okay? Now, the remaining 5 ladies, okay, are my personal favorites. Okay? The reason why I segmented it in such a way that mauuna muna yung mga potential spoilers, the first 9 ladies that I feel na shoe-in na pagdating sa top 15, if in case na top 15. I also kasi wanted to highlight yung personal favorites ko na pwedeng potential winners na. Parang for me, the lowest that they could get is possibly a runner-up position. So, in that list, we have Andrea Flores, who is representing Quezon Province. She stands 5'7". She is a pharmacist, a host, and a sports reporter. Okay, she's not a host. She's a sports reporter who uses her platform. She advocates for cybercrime awareness, and being one of the girls that I feel is strong on stage, has great body proportions, looks good with straight hair, and has a very Chinita mestiza good looks with her. I feel that couple it with her strong communication skills, she could potentially earn one of the titles at Binibining Pilipinas this year. I am confident that if she delivers, plays her cards really well at the competition, she could potentially be one of those spoilers doon sa mga front runners and mga popular girls at Binibining Pilipinas this year. I am hoping that at the minimum, runner-up yung makuha niya, so that if in case na may mga kinakailangan pang i-polish or kinakailangan na i-gawin para mas mag-improve yung kanyang chances, pwede pa maayos, and she can use, that experience if she decides to come back a year later at Binibining Pilipinas. Now, number 11, in one of our personal favorites, I'm sure napapansin nyo ito. Madalas namin siyang feature in our page. She's the representative of Batangas province at Binibining Pilipinas this year, Ann Carres de Mesa. Now, this is not the first time na si Ann sumali ng Binibining Pilipinas, because in 2022, she is one of those ladies, sorry, she is one of those ladies who had a blast at Binibining Pilipinas that year. It was one of the most strong batches of Binibining Pilipinas, and meron talagang elbow ng mga girls in that batch. I feel that this year is her year na makasungkit ng corona. Now, Ann is a CPA. She is a certified public accountant who graduated cum laude in accountancy from the University of Santo Tomas. We all know that Binibining Pilipinas loves mga ladies with Latin honors. Marami ng mga cum laude, summa cum laude, magna cum laude ng mga winners ang Binibining Pilipinas, and I will not be surprised if Ann becomes one of those. Ann stands 5'8". She is one of the most interestingly beautiful faces at Binibining Pilipinas this year. I feel that she has this liking with Angel Aquino, who is one of the most successful, beautiful women actresses in our country. She is one of those mga faces na kapag nilista mo yung mga pinakamagagandang babae sa Pilipinas, Angel Aquino always makes it in the list. And I really feel that that likeness is going to be a strong asset for Ann. And what I like about Ann in this year's competition is that she's always composed, she's always class and grace personified. Every time that I see her in public, hindi siya yung gigil, hindi siya yung aggressive, malumanay siya, very composed. I think that is one of the words that best describes Ann, aside from class and grace personified. So I do hope that should she snag a title this year, it will be one of those titles na tawag nito. It would be one of the top 2 titles if in case na magkaroon tayo ng 3 titles this year. Okay? Now, another lady that is a strong contender for the crown is, of course, Annabelle McDonald, representing Iligan City. Now, the 5'9" na Miss Universe Philippines alum, who was also first runner-up at Miss Charm International, is one of those ladies that I feel has the potential to be one of the winners come June 15. I feel na kung kumorona sila ng Binibining Pilipinas International nung press presentation, it would have been Annabelle McDonald, hands down. Now, Annabelle, who when she was in her province, was a former DJ and currently is a model and an event host, who is advocating for children's rights and protection. She's working with Save the Children Philippines, where the organization as a whole promotes, children's rights. Now, the former Miss Charm International runner-up is one of the most popular girls in this year's batch, and I feel that that is rightfully earned, rightfully so, because siya yung isa sa mga girls na alam mong gustong manalo, and I think it really shows in the way that she communicates and she shows yung eagerness to be a potential winner. And I think given the chance, she could be a great representative of the Philippines at Miss International later this year in Tokyo. Now, last 2 ladies, and these 2 ladies for me not only embodies yung aesthetics na hinahanap ng Miss International, but they also are potential winners simply because they have all the ingredients when it comes to what is Binibining Pilipinas looking for in a winner. Now, Jersey Rain Cruz, who is for most people more popularly known as Jersey Rain So, when she won Miss Chinatown in Miss Chinatown Philippines a couple of years back. She stands 5'9", closer to I think around 5'10". She is a businesswoman and a model, a commercial model, who believes, according to her profile at Binibining Pilipinas socials, who believes in the power of volunteerism. Sabi niya, she does not support only one charity but advocates for multiple charities and causes, kasi that would make you much more rounded as a person. Okay? So, what I like about Jersey is that malumanay siyang magsalita. She's very intellectual. She is tall. Ganda ng body proportions niya. And she is one of those ladies na ang lambot-lambot tignan. And I think that that is one of the things that historically Miss International is looking for in their winner. I feel that if there is a potential spoiler for the Miss International or the Binibining Pilipinas International title, that would be Jersey. I think that ultimately, it will all boil down kung gaano siya kagaling mag-perform on stage sa linggo and how she is able to communicate, her thoughts well pagdating ng final Q&A. Okay, now, lady that is expected to win Binibining Pilipinas International is Katrina Johnson. She's from Davao. She represents Davao province. She stands 5'7". She is a licensed clinical pharmacist who I believe is the strongest communicator in this batch. Now, that is not just something that I would say lightly because I feel that having seen Katrina work within the Binibining Pilipinas organization in 2023, nakita ko yung abilidad niya to host, abilidad niya to engage with people, and abilidad niya na bagdagulan sa Q&A without sounding rehearsed, without sounding insincere, without sounding planned. Okay? Hindi, she has this very organic way of talking and make you feel at ease when she communicates, when she talks with you. I think that is one of the reasons why she is a personal favorite because kapag kinakausap niya, ramdam na ramdam mo yung sinceridad niya sa'yo. I think that that is not a gift that is, that is common to a lot of candidates, especially pageant girls na dahil gusto nilang manalo, there is a certain template in the way that they, engage, in the way that they communicate. With Katrina, that is not an issue. Now, what I want to see from Katrina come finals is that a more pared down gown compared to the one that she wore at the press presentation. Dahil gusto kong mangyari is that she wears a gown that highlights her physical beauty at hindi yung overly designed na gown na kinakailangan niyang i-work pa para lang mapansin. I feel that her beauty alone is enough to carry the evening gown competition if she chooses, a gown that really highlights her best assets, and that is her gorgeous face. When it comes to the pasarela, konting linis lang I believe on the poses, on the transition from her walk to her poses. That would, do a lot of difference in the way that she performs on stage. Now, who among these girls do I feel na ang laki ng chance na manalo? At this point, I cannot say because bilog ang bola. Pwedeng gumulong ang bola to one candidate or to another. And I do feel that with the batch of the girls this year, especially this year na my gut feel tells me that magpa-pendulum swing ulit tayo doon sa mga mestiza, leaning na mga winners. We really want to stress that for the girls na nanonood ngayon na nail your Q&A. Okay? Kasi yun yung mag-separate sa'yo among the rest of the candidates. And I think that if you're able to communicate well, a crown is guaranteed. But kinakailangan trabahuin nyo siya doon sa swimsuit competition, doon sa evening gown competition because those, performances on those areas matters well, matters in the selection of the eventual winners later on. So I do hope that the girls who are watching will be able to, find something that they can work with in this episode to improve their chances at a title at Binibining Pilipinas. Now, for those ladies na hindi ko na-mention in our listahan, I do hope that this doesn't dishearten you because the intention for this is to give feedback and to give audiences the potential list of winners. And because I'm not a judge, I don't think that you should take to heart yung mga sinasabi ko when it comes to the assessments that I have. I do hope that all 36 candidates would be given equal opportunity to shine on stage on Sunday, and that lahat kayo I truly believe na may karapatan na manalo. Okay, so thank you very much for everyone who has been listening into this episode, and I do hope that before we leave, you hit the like button, and I do also hope that you subscribe on our channel for more pageant and fashion related content. See you again in our next episode, and kita-kits tayo sa Coronation Night ng Binibining Pilipinas on June 15. Bye everyone!